What's going on, folks? HeirofCarthage here, and I'm back in Total War Warhammer 2, where we're going to continue some battles today. I have a fun one here for you. This is going to be Beastmen versus Skaven. Now, the last couple days I've done some big team battles. I will be doing more of those. If you want to join me for some, hop onto the Discord. I'll be playing some tomorrow morning, I think, my time, US Central, so Saturday, whatever it is tomorrow. Is it March 29th? Oh, 8th. Sorry. Saturday, March 28th, U.S. Central Time morning. Join me. Anyway, here we go. Here we go. Beastmen, and we do have Gorbel. Now, do remember that Gorbel is in the middle of a presidential primary, despite the outbreak. In fact, he's here to do something about the outbreak. He knows who's responsible, and it's the Skaven. The Skaven are responsible for all plagues, and he's looking for some revenge for them interrupting his campaign. And he's brought Morgur along with him to help. And then the Beastmen army here is going to be a couple of Bestigor herds right in the middle. They are flanked by Gore herds, and then behind them there are some Ungor spear herds. Far out on the flank there is a Bray Shaman, Lore of the Wild, on a boar chariot, or sorry, what do you call it? Razor Gore chariot. It is a boar. I was kind of thinking like Arkansas Razorback there for a minute. Anyway, we got some Ungor herds and Gore herds here as well. And then for Clan Moors, which is interesting, Clan Moors is actually going to be led by Ikit. But hey, who's stopping them, right? It's just the Skaven main faction here. They're going to have some gutter runners with poison. It's a great unit for the flank. They're extremely difficult to catch because of these different abilities they have down here. They have something that gives them extra speed, and then there's this snare here, which takes away charge speed and speed. Makes it very difficult to catch these guys, especially after they've poisoned you with poison missile damage, so they are a nuisance to be certain. And if we take a look at the rest of the Skaven troops here, it's a front line of Skaven slaves to absorb charge or anything else that's going to be coming in, and then a line of Clan Rat Spears. They are backed up by some Poison Wind Globadiers, which are armor-piercing magic damage. Then we've got Ikit Claw with the Brass Orb and some other abilities on his side on a Doom Wheel. So he'll be able to cause a lot of anti-infantry damage, which is a pretty good idea, I think, going up against the Beastmen. More Poison Wind Globadiers. They are supported by Doom Flayers, which is another, I think, solid pick to go against Beastmen because of the anti-infantry armor-piercing. And then they don't have Fear or Terror, but they're still a very good unit at causing a lot of issues. And then there is a Warp Grinder team supporting the Teeth Breakers. Now remember the Teeth Breakers, this is an insane unit here. So they have concealment bombs, but remember that there is a suppressed thing that takes away 36% speed. This, I think, is the case with all Rattling Gun teams. So Rattling Guns, if they can suppress a unit well enough, they can do tons of damage to it. And the Warp Grinder team is an interesting support form. Remember, these guys have two special abilities. One is Seismic Snare, which stops all movement of anything around it, including itself. And then there is the Warp Quake, which slows movement and does damage to the units who are within the radius. So an interesting unit to support the Teeth Breakers because it actually has kind of a zone of control to stop fast movers from going at the Teeth Breakers. Fast movers, which of course is what the Beastmen specialize in. And here we have some Centaurs with great weapons, more Centaurs, and 2 Warhounds. So let us see how this battle plays out. Should be a fun one. We have a good setup here. And I like the picks, honestly. Both sides have some interesting ones. Both sides have some interesting ones, indeed. So the Warp Grinders are ready to go, and the Teeth Breakers are ready to go. The Skaven are going to move up, which is interesting because they have the range, though they're not in range yet. You can see here they don't have that much range, so they're going to move up. The Beastmen want to stand still, and it's because the Bray Shaman of the Wild has the Cygor summon, and he's going to go way up out of here, out of the way, summon up a Cygor, and try and do some damage from distance. That makes sense. The best target for the Cygor would be the Council Guard or the Teeth Breakers, both of which are quite expensive and would be an appropriate target for something like a Cygor. Here he comes. And as we get this battle rolling here, you can see that the Beastmen are quickly moving in from both flanks with fast movers. Or no, sorry, not both flanks. The fast movers are coming from the far flank back here. And then we've got the flanking infantry right here. My bad. My bad. So, don't want to get that one too confused. There the Cygor goes. He's dumping his first hit, and it is a massive hit. 18 kills on a summoned Cygor right there. Now, the Skaven are not going to like fighting the Beastmen in melee. In fact, it will be difficult for the Skaven to potentially win this unless the Beastmen massively screw up with the infantry. But look at this. We got the snare. And the Beastmen fast movers were blobbed, and they get stopped, warp lightning, and hit by the teeth breakers. And another spell from Ikit, and just completely decimates everything the Beastmen had in the backline in a beautiful showing of how to use warp grinders in multiplayer. It's fantastic. Now this battle's far from over though. That was a big play right there for the Skaven, a big play indeed. This battle would have been over very quickly had that play not been made, because the Beastmen are absolutely swarming and overrunning the front lines. The Cygor does disintegrate over time, and he managed to get 57 kills, and another rock incoming there misses the Doomflayers. But what a play here. Now, Gorbul is angry, and he gets very greedy, and his campaign is teetering at the moment, as Ikit has lured him into a Skaven trap. So, yeah. Gorbul may be on a little bit of a campaign respite. He's down, and that leaves Morgur in here to help support the troops, and obviously the Skaven front line got completely massacred by the Beastmen, and right now the Skaven were in good shape firing at the Brace Shaman with the Teeth Breakers, but now the Teeth Breakers are in trouble because they've been caught by an Ungor herd. However, Ikit Claw is nearby to support them, and that's going to be a big play. Got the Warp Grinders doing their thing here again, kind of locking down a certain zone of control, keeping that Bray Shaman in place, which was a very good play. The longer they can keep the Teeth Breakers alive, the more damage they can do. Now, the Doomflayers are going to be playing a big role right now because the Beastmen infantry just can't do a whole lot to them. Really won't do much of anything, in fact. You can see he's using the Doomflayers to try and blob the infantry. Now there's a second Cygor summon, and it pops up right in front of the Teeth Breakers, and they are hosing it, and he in turn pitches a rock right back in their face as they are charged by Ungor herd. And this is a summoned Cygor, remember, and here comes the Bray Shaman, Lore of Wild. So the Teeth Breakers are in trouble. Morgur is gonna be Morgur, and he is summoning his Chaos Spawn, but they're being summoned on Council Guard, which is a unit that the Chaos Spawn probably won't do a ton of damage to. But it is what it is. Morgur summons, I think one of them is kind of just like an auto summon. May be wrong. See the Bray Shaman here doing some great damage. And as we're taking a look at things, the Beastmen have mopped up a lot of the Skaven troops, but they've got a big problem. Two big problems, actually. One is Ikit Claw, and the second one is these Gutter Runners. Now, they could shut down stuff like these Teeth Breakers regroup. The Bray Shaman can shut those down if he gets out there right now. The Gutter Runners, that Bray Shaman will never catch those things without getting shot to bits. And so right now the Beastmen have a huge problem, and it is the Gutter Runners. You see, otherwise, the Beastmen infantry actually holds on pretty well, all things considered. You can see all the Chaos Spawn here attempting to try and deal with Ikit. They don't last forever, though, and so this is going to be a real problem for the Beastmen with these units starting to fade away as the summon wears out. There goes the Cygor. You can see the Teeth Breakers still being very effective, and look here. Oh, got hit with the, he was actually about to catch these units. That was a pretty clutch shot right there. Wow. That is crazy. This guy just about caught them, but then got hit by that, that special ability, and it kept them from doing so. You can see Morgur is still very much alive, but the balance of power is swinging against the Beastmen. The Skaven are coming up with more and more units that are coming back from routing, and there are key missile units that really Morgur just isn't going to be able to deal with at this point because all of the speed was lost early. And what's interesting about this battle to me, it's twofold. One, well, let's cover all the grounds here, right? The Beastmen have an obvious infantry advantage over the Skaven just about any day of the week. Look at this Bray Shaman just getting owned by the Teeth Breakers. He does end up getting in there doing a little bit, but he routes. Morgur is about to chain route. He can't stay in here and fight this type of fight. So the Beastmen are finished. Anyway, let's talk about the matchup a little bit. I think it's a fun matchup. The Beastmen they hit like a truck. They charge hard. They've got cheap infantry that can do a ton of damage to anything that's basically low armor. And then you take a unit like the Bestigor Herd, and it will slaughter even the best infantry that the Skaven can throw at it. The Skaven don't have infantry in this matchup. They have specialty tools, right? In some regards, the Skaven it's similar to the Empire, in that their biggest strength is support units. That's what I mean by it. the Empire, for instance, support units are their biggest strength. They have all these different types of support units, and for the Empire, even magic. For the Skaven, less magic, but a ton of support units. So Poison Wind Globadiers, armor-piercing missile damage that they can throw in magic. And then Poison Gunner Runners, they can lure units off. They can pick off units from the flank and kind of self-protect. They're kind of like a self-contained nuisance. And then Teeth Breakers, they can slow down units and deal damage to major armored targets. The Council Guard, unbreakable, anti-large, high armor, just an annoying unit. Doom Flayers are an annoying unit for the Beastmen to deal with, and they were an excellent pick here, as is the larger version, the Doom Wheel. Look at the kills on Ikaclaw. This dude cleaned house. He was clearly in the right matchup here. So I think that the Skaven picked a lot of great units for fighting against the Beastmen, and I honestly don't terribly disagree with what the Beastmen were attempting to do here. I actually think it was a pretty good plan. Where it all went wrong, obviously, was these units got blobbed and ran past a Warp Grinder. So some people might, well, Air, that was a mistake. Well, of course it was a mistake, and I wanted to show this battle to kind of show you two things. One, when you're playing the role like the Beastmen here, I feel like the Beastmen would have easily won this battle if they would have just split up this cavalry contingent here and hit multiple Skaven targets from different directions. So like spread it out into a wider line coming in from behind so that the Warp Grinder can only cover a little bit. Now the Warp Grinder may have tried to move on top of the Teeth Breakers to protect it, but there were so many other targets that could have been hit at that point, including the Poison Wind Globadiers, including bogging down the Doom Flayers, for instance, with the Centaur with Great Weapon, which would have done tremendous damage to them. Getting Icket bogged down with some Poison Warhounds, or the same thing with the Doom Flayers. There's a ton of work that the fast movers could have done here and potentially won this battle for the Beastmen, because their infantry honestly did pretty good. It did what it was supposed to for the most part, and honestly lasted quite a long time considering that it lost some of its leadership support from Gorbul early on. Gorbul needed to be kept back and wait till the fight develops a little and units get busy, and then you bring in Gorbul for devastating effect a little bit later. Because bringing him in early and chasing Icket that he really can't catch, the only way that he kills Icket is if Icket sits there and takes it. And most players just aren't going to do that. I do like Morgur coming in with the Chaos Spawn. Chaos Spawn are going to be a pretty great unit against Skaven for the most part because of their lack of armor. And so summoning those up gives him free units, and then summoning the Sigors gives him free units. So it kind of uses magic and leadership to expand the number of units that the Beastmen can field, and I like that. So overall, I do like the Beastmen army here. Like I said, it was really just that one mistake. But I wanted to show this because I've had people ask me before saying, Air, what's the use of Warp Grinder teams in multiplayer? I think it's this. It's a denial. It's an area denial tool for key Skaven units maybe that are inside of a defensive formation like you saw here. It can slow those units down and allow you to properly react or to save some of those units. Worked out in this case, may not work every time. The Warp Grinder team is a lot of fun. It's a cool unit. I really like it in campaign. And obviously, it does have uses in multiplayer as well. And I hope you all enjoyed seeing it here. Hey, do appreciate you all watching. If you want to see more, make sure you're subscribed. If you're not subscribed, you may not know when there's new videos. But regardless of whether you're subscribed, thank you. Thank you for being here today. Please leave me a like or dislike based on your thoughts. And if you have some comments, I always love to hear them. Anyway, HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I will see you all soon.